trying to get rid of shit.
Oh, somebody brought this?
Well, just our fridge is full, and
What else is it full of? I would have liked maybe
it was Thanksgiving.
Why didn't you bring me any leftovers?
No, you don't get that.
What? Why?
Because that's Thanksgiving Day. You're fucking Canadian, of all.
Well, first of all, I think that it's hard to open.
Just take this one.
Thank you.
I'm Nikki Bon, and my friends always make fun of me because they say I live under a rock because I never know really much about anything. Not really current events, pop culture, politics. I just don't like scrolling the internet. It makes me feel bad about myself. So I'm going to have my friends come on and fill me in on things I've missed, and I am going to assess whether or not I even needed to know about that in the first place. Because sometimes it's really enjoyable being blissfully clueless.
No, Thanksgiving leftovers is the cheers.
Cheers. I was going to trade back.
Thanksgiving. No. I didn't drink out of it. Oh, are we started?
Yeah, well, but this can be the start.
Okay. Thanksgiving leftovers is an American tradition.
Thanksgiving leftovers is also a Canadian tradition.
Do y'all have Thanksgiving?
Yes, in October. You didn't know that?
No, tell me. I know this is the teach Nikki things, but teach me about Thanksgiving.
Sorry.
For God's sake.
I'm sorry.
I know this is the teach Nikki thing. Teach me about Canadian Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to introduce you, and then I'll teach you about Canadian. Welcome. This is called Blissfully Clueless. Welcome.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, Blissfully Clueless. And this is Joe Abousakher.
Nope. Nope. Try again, and I'm not going to teach you it.
Joe Abousakher.
There you go.
There we go.
You added an L.
I always add an L. I think it needs an L.
People always add. I've had N's added to it.
I've had
a lot of. The one that makes sense is people switch the K and H to where it comes out to Abousakher.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
I get it feels more right.
Maybe the problem's you.
That's true. Yeah, no. Anyway,
okay.
Abousakher.
And he's here to teach me some things. But first of all, he doesn't know. I actually like this brand.
Yeah, this is good.
Krolsch.
Flugen de Schnucken.
This is a big beer to give me.
What are you talking about? It's a normal size beer. It's a big bottle, isn't it?
Marketing.
Yeah, this is 15 ounces. That's normal size, ain't it?
Do you think I look like a cool chick drinking beer on the internet?
A big growler. Flugenschnagen. Anyway,
okay.
We start off the podcast typically like plugging stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Abousakher.
Add Here with Joe on all platforms. You can catch me on my podcast, Here with Joe, every week. Comes out on Mondays.
Normally plug at the end, but now we're plugging at the beginning.
I always plug things at the beginning. Good. You should.
Do you have guests on?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying plug stuff at the beginning because a lot of times people are listening or watching your thing, and then something happens, they go, and then they might not come back.
Yeah.
So get it done at the beginning.
Okay, you got it done at the beginning. I don't need to tell you about Canadian Thanksgiving. All you need to know is that it happens in October, and we have Thanksgiving, and we like leftovers, just like at Christmas time. We like leftovers.
Okay.
But I think the leftovers only really last like one day.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes and gravy could last a week, but the turkey...
But those get gone right away.
Yeah. We make a lot of potatoes. Okay. In Canada, we make a lot of potatoes.
Okay.
I mean, just my household.
My point is that the leftovers, that's not for sharing.
You shared with
the
people
day
last
of
night.
is the Thanksgiving, is the sharing.
Then why did your wife say, I have leftovers?
You want to come over and have leftovers? That's fine.
Oh, see, sometimes I bring people leftovers.
Yeah, I guess people brought us leftovers last night.
Oh my God.
That's a good point. And I rescind my previous statement.
There you go. Exactly. Okay.
I didn't want to get rid of the good food. I'm trying to get rid of the fattening food, like the cookies and the beer.
And he brought that to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I will eat them and drink them. What's the good food, though?
Turkey. Let me tell you something right now, Nikki. My turkey is the best turkey you've ever had.
Have you had all the turkeys in the world?
All of them.
How have you had all the turkeys in the world?
I've had everyone thinks they know how to make their turkey, but you know what? It's always wrong. You know why?
Why?
Because people cooking by the way, our episode today is going to be all about the kitchen. I'm going to be talking about all food stuff. People be cooking turkeys whole.
People be cooking turkeys whole. Oh, you don't cook it
They're
whole?
too big of a bird to cook whole. All right. You just let me know if my mic is.
Do you
want to
tell people where you're from if you're going to put on that accent?
What accent?
You're really getting Southern right now.
I am Southern. I'm from McEwen, Tennessee. God damn it.
There we go. Let's give them a
All right. Fuck it. I know my last name's Abousakher.
Yeah.
But there ain't no one playing soccer anywhere near us, son. It's baseball and football and basketball. That's it.
Okay, so they cook it whole. See,
so people cook turkey. Turkeys are too big to cook whole. So the problem is dark meat is either getting not cooked all the way to where it's still like greasy, or you're overcooking the shit to where the white meat is dry.
Okay.
So people always have this idea. They're like, oh, I don't like white meat. It's too dry. Or I don't like dark meat. It's too greasy.
Okay.
It's because people be cooking the whole thing whole.
Then
separate it.
I wish that you brought me some because...
Which is the most Southern thing, by the way. Separate your whites from your darks.
Yeah, that's true. That is. I think you should just make the turkey one. You know, I don't know why you're trying to cut out the white and the darks from each other.
It needs to be done. It's better for society.
All of a sudden, my numbers go up so much. Just the racists are really into the...
Hey, the internet. I mean, that's
you never know
where it's at.
Because I don't love turkey at all. I love turkey skin. Like, that's all I eat pretty much off the turkey is a little bit of the leg and a wing and the skin.
I think you'd like my white meat because also it's where the best skin is.
I would have liked your white meat.
Yeah.
I like dark meat.
Would you like to know how I cook the things? Because I get really excited talking about it. I don't know if this is good for the pod though.
I don't know if it's good either.
I do something.
Stick around. We'll do it at the end.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about all kitchen stuff.
Okay. So the other premise, the other thing that I like to do on this is I decide if I needed to know this or not.
You don't.
I don't need to know these
little
things.
something about me.
I don't need to know the things you have to tell me.
Most of the time.
Okay.
If you needed to know about it, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh. Okay.
I have very strong opinions about things that don't matter.
Okay.
I think if you have strong opinions about things that do matter, keep them to yourself. All right? Or write it down and write it to your local newspaper. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
This isn't going to be the fucking... We're not talking about the war in the Middle East.
I am not covering that, nor have I asked anybody about it. I am not... I'm just talking like...
We're talking American chocolate. You want to talk about that?
Okay, what do I need to know about American chocolate?
First of all, I want to know, as a Canadian, do you like chocolate here?
Pardon?
Is the chocolate that you buy in Canada,
here.
does it taste different than it does here to you?
No, it doesn't. I don't think so. We get the same brands, but I like... No, it tastes the same to me.
Okay. Well... And your comments can probably confirm this. People in Europe think that American chocolate tastes like vomit.
Ew, really?
It's a real thing. And I was hoping that y'all's chocolate was the same.
It is
as
the same.
Europe. No, I was hoping it was the same as Europe. That way we could get this like a real life reaction. Yeah, they say it tastes like vomit, and it's like a normal thing. Like it's been an internet lore for many years, and did some research, and it turns out it actually does taste like vomit.
No.
We just don't notice it.
Ew.
We don't notice it. And I looked into the history of chocolate making. All right. I did this for your podcast.
Thank you.
The guy, Mr. Hershey from Pennsylvania.
I don't like Hershey.
Why?
It tastes processed to me.
Well, it is. That's what the food is. I mean, at the store, most foods it is a processed food.
Yeah.
And he invented the milk chocolate processing process.
Very processed.
Okay, he invented it, and he used milk in the process. So, like, the milk kind of cooks in a giant vat, pressurized, and what comes from that over time is butyric acid that is in the chocolate.
Can you explain what butyric acid is for those at home that don't know?
If you have 10 or 12 of these things, and at midnight you're spinning and you throw up and you have that kind of like that stinging feeling in the back of your throat, that, friend, is butyric acid.
Okay.
So all of this is to say American chocolate does technically taste literally like throw up. And the Europeans don't do that because they always used powdered milk instead. So it never went through that process.
And we use real milk.
We used real milk. Yeah. And it never changed once we figured that out because we already decided this is what candy tastes like. So we don't notice it.
Okay. If I go get chocolate from the cupboard.
Yes.
Should we taste it?
Absolutely.
It's Lindt.
But see, that won't have the butyric acid in it. That is European. I wish you had Hershey's too, and you would be able to taste it. Because you can. Once you start putting it in your mouth and you have it in the back of your throat, you realize, oh shit, that's puke. But it's good. Why not?
It's not good.
It is.
That's so funny. So I'm a little bit European then. Because
Montreal coming out.
Well, I just think that the regular stuff tastes fake now that I'm older and I can taste like all the sugar in it.
It's the same as it always was.
But milk powder technically isn't good for you because it's milk powder. Oh my God. I'm guessing.
It's not. No.
Yeah.
Milk powder is milk without water. That's all it is. Oh, we're getting into it with food today, folks. You know why? Because me and Nikki had a little bit of a skirmish the other day about microwaves.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we're getting to microwaves. We'll save that for last.
I can't wait. So, okay.
Milk powder is just milk. That's all it is.
How does it get to a powder then?
You dry it out. You dehydrate it.
Yeah, and what do you have to put in it to dehydrate it?
Air.
And?
Nothing.
I don't believe you.
When you're making a sauce, Nikki, when you're like shaking some sauce over the stove and you have heat on that sauce, what do you do to get the water out of it?
I reduce it down.
Uh-huh. What if you kept reducing it down?
It would evaporate and disappear.
No, it wouldn't.
It would not turn into a powder.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
I have milk on the stove.
Okay.
I have milk. Do you want to go try it on the stove?
Well, okay. If you do it over the stove, at that point, it'll cook too much. But
okay.
You can.
Okay. Well, then butyric.
Tomato paste. They take tomatoes. I know, but I'm saying they take tomatoes and they puree it and then they lay it out in long tables. This is the old Italian way to make it. They lay it out on long tables and they let the sun dry it out until it becomes a crusty thing that they put into a food processor and it's just crumbly.
Okay, that I believe.
That's what they do with milk.
Do you not think that over time that's what they used to do with milk, but now that things are so processed and fake, they've figured out how to just make powder that tastes like milk out of chemicals?
No. No. It is. They just have industrial size heaters to do it faster. You're afraid of food progress.
I am afraid of food progress.
And it's nothing bad is happening from it.
Okay,
people overestimate the bad stuff.
Put a pin on that.
Okay.
Now, why? So we use real milk, and that I guess I don't necessarily know what this stinging on the back of my throat feels like.
You've never thrown up?
I have thrown up.
You know, like whenever you throw up, and it's just kind of like, it kind of like feels like you drank like battery acid for a minute.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you're all the
like
acid
bile.
that's in all the acid that's in your belly is in your throat, and it shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Or like when you barf burp.
Yeah, exactly. That's butyric acid. That is the thing that you're tasting.
And they put milk in the chocolate that turns into butyric acid.
Yeah, they like they did like a pressurized vat that kind of took the chocolate and the milk and like kind of emulsified it into one using pressure. I don't know. This is like the old school way of doing it. But in that process, butyric acid kind of like cooked up because the milk kind of ferments a little bit.
Ew, that's disgusting.
It's not really disgusting. That's just how it's chocolate. That's just milk chocolate, baby.
Now, is that good for you?
No, it's not good for you, but it's not bad for you in the chemical sense.
Okay.
It's bad for you in it's mostly sugar. No, it's just sugar and fucking fat.
And then what's European chocolate then?
European, I think they figured out after that. They're like, what if we use powdered milk instead and keep the process from not having to pressurize or some shit like that, and it comes out with a more creamy texture.
And is that better for you?
No, nothing's bad. One of the other. They're both good and bad for you. You know, if you're eating 5 bars of chocolate a day, that's bad for you.
I do like dark chocolate. If I don't have milk chocolate, am I getting this bad for me thing inside me?
No, there's nothing bad about the butyric acid. The only thing bad about the butyric acid is that it tastes like vomit. Okay. And if you're European, you really taste it because you didn't grow up as a kid getting that as a treat. But for us, we taste it and we just taste the childhood memories of having candy.
Sugar. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. But my question is, does dark chocolate use as much?
No.
So it's the milk chocolate.
It's the milk chocolate. It's the process of milk chocolate.
Now, with that being said, I think I'm going to stay away from American milk chocolate.
Because you think it's going to kill you with vomit?
I don't think butyric acid at the end of the day I want to put any more in my body.
You have it in your body.
I know, but I have an esophagus problem that my esophagus, Oh,
that's a good point.
So now
I bet milk chocolate fucks with you a little bit.
I bet it does too. I have an esophagus problem called esophagitis where I have an overexcess amount of bile in my stomach. I think it's because I had an ulcer when I was 9. And so if I eat certain things, it'll flare up. The acidity hits my esophagus. It closes up and no food can go down. And Joe was there one time. There. It's pretty gnarly.
Got you Tums.
Yeah, you got me Tums.
You were in the parking lot hawking loogies like a sailor. It's just...
Because what happens, it's the craziest thing that my body does. I can't, so the food will be stuck in my esophagus, and because it can't get pushed down, my body up here creates this
body up here, your face.
Well, no,
or your throat.
Yeah, my throat, my face, wherever it comes from, it creates this really thick mucus to swallow to bring the food down. It's crazy.
What's it called? Esophagitis?
Esophagitis. Kind of like your last name, esophagitis. Abousakher.
Okay.
And so my body, so when I can't, the water, the mucus, it's not mucus, it's just saliva. That's what it is. Saliva my body produces does not help push it down. It makes it worse because it's thick.
Your spit gets thick?
Yeah, but not like when you throw up almost.
Okay.
But not like phlegm. This is so disgusting, but this is for the boys.
Yeah,
boys.
Yeah,
big one for you.
Let's go.
But it creates a thick saliva so that when you swallow, it'll take the food down. But if the food's not going down, you're just swallowing this thick saliva. It makes it worse because you're I'd like some easy, water could at least seep through, but this just adds to it. And so...
Can you get food stuck in your throat?
Right here. It'll get stuck here. And then why did I bring up the saliva part?
Well, because we were talking about butyric acid.
Yeah. Well, it's hawking loogies.
Oh, right.
Because if I try to swallow all that saliva my body's producing, it'll just get stuck and it makes it worse. So I have to keep spitting it out.
Drown in food.
Yeah, it sucks.
That sucks.
It's the worst.
Well,
so
maybe stay away from American chocolate because it might not make the problem worse, but I could imagine it immediately brings up the taste of when it happens.
Yeah, well, it could be adding more acidity to me.
That too.
And I don't need that. I have too much. Wow, you know what? I did need to know that,
See?
Joe.
All right, one down.
One down.
Just because of our microwaves conversation, I assume you have strong opinions about MSG.
Oh, yeah. I just spit when I said that.
So before I go into it, what's your problem with MSG?
It's just too much salt, and it makes my body, I get really bloated. Esophagus. It does hurt my esophagus as well. And it's a chemical.
Okay. You know what else is a chemical?
What?
Everything.
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's not.
All right. MSG, first of all, is just the scientific name for what it is. Do you have a problem with bisodium carbonate?
Absolutely.
What? Why?
Because it's a chemical.
Well, do you ever have bread or cookies?
Yes, but I know I shouldn't be, and I like to make my own bread.
Bisodium carbonate is just baking soda, friend. All right? That's all it is.
Well, I'm not, but let's look at it this way. You put a teaspoon of baking soda in your bread. You put a shit ton of baking soda in your MSG.
No, MSG is... MSG is naturally occurring in beef and tomatoes. Okay, it's just like I forget what the thing for salt is, something sodium, whatever. It's just a different kind of salt. That's all it is. And the only reason there is a problem with MSG in this country is because it was when Chinese restaurants opened, a lot of local communities didn't like the Chinese coming in, so they said Chinese food with all their MSG, because they cook with it the way we cook with salt. Were giving what they call it, China headaches or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it was a racist campaign against Chinese restaurants. That's the only reason anyone thinks about MSG.
Wait, who did that?
It was in the 80s, or the 70s and 80s, when a lot of Chinese immigrants were coming over, or actually just Asian immigrants, but they were opening up Chinese restaurants, like Chinese buffets, and they cook a lot with MSG, and local communities were like, we can't compete with, $8 all you can eat buffets. So they started, it was just a racist campaign. That's all it is.
So by me saying I don't like MSG, I kind of am racist.
I mean, it's kind of more like how when people are like still think that crack is worse than cocaine.
That was such a bad comparison.
No, it's not, because crack was like you got more years for crack than you did for cocaine, even though it's basically the same drug.
Yeah.
But we were all people in the 80s were all taught that like crack was so much worse, but only because it was in the black community as opposed to cocaine, which was in the white community.
Oh, okay. So, okay. I did not know that.
But yeah, exactly. So that still sticks around today. People are like crackhead, but like cokehead just seems like, oh, you're kind of a cool, normal guy.
Yeah. I did not know
MSG, it kind of still lingers over. People think like, oh, it's this crazy chemical you put in your food to make it extra salty. Okay. It's just a different kind of salt.
Okay, but then
it's literally flavor.
And where did it salt comes from salt rocks? Uh-huh. Where does MSG come from?
There's multiple different places you can pull it from. I know.
And they are?
It's naturally occurring.
Where?
The way, I don't know. I didn't look into it that much.
You can look it up right now.
I can.
To prove it to me.
Fine. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't want to.
Oh, no, you can.
I don't want to presume that I can.
No. That's
all right, let's see.
Very polite of you. Now, because I'll talk about my MSG. Okay. MSG, when I have it, I kind of am like, if my body reacts, then I get freaked out by things. And that's like raw onions. My body reacts. I'm not going to be putting raw onions in my body now. It's like a food allergy. MSG, when I have it, I get really bloated and feel really full. And then I get like a sharp pain in my chest.
Do you think that, well, here's the thing. The thing that MSG is used for a lot of times is, so it is literally just flavor. Yes. That's what MSG is. If you ever have it by itself, you realize right away, like, oh, this is just what flavoring is. That's why, like, if you ever get like bouillon cubes,
that's mostly love bouillon.
That's literally just MSG. That's MSG with a little chicken fat in it.
Wait, I have some in my fridge. Should I see if there's MSG in it?
It is what the main ingredient is.
Will it say that?
Yes.
Okay, you look that up. I'm getting my bouillon.
I already have it. Kind of hippy dippy.
I probably got a hippy dippy. It's called Zoop. ZOUP.
Chicken broth. No, this doesn't have it.
I'm a good girl. I was like, this doesn't bother me.
MSG free kind.
Because I'm a good girl. Does it say no? It doesn't even advertise this. No artificial ingredients, no preservatives.
Well, MSG is not artificial, so we've already figured that out.
I'm just telling you.
Okay, well, no, it does have MSG.
Wait.
It just doesn't call it that. It calls it yeast extract, which does have naturally occurring MSG in it. It also has natural flavor, which if you ever see the word flavor in your ingredients, probably MSG. Unless it says MSG free, it probably has MSG.
What's sunflower lecithin?
I don't know. I think probably a thickener.
Okay. Damn.
So MSG hydrolyzed vegetable protein, yeast, hydrolyzed yeast, yeast extract. Yeah, tomatoes and cheeses have it naturally occurring, so that's where it comes from.
And how do they create it then? So it's not coming from rocks.
No.
They have to process it.
For food manufacturing, they probably pull it from yeast extract. That seems to be the most naturally occurring in many vegetables and fungi.
So they would have to dry it down and process it.
Which we've already gone over this. Drying food doesn't make it bad. It just takes the water out.
Is a process.
Okay,
I still think
you know
that
what
salt's
processed
better
mean?
for us.
What?
I think regular salt's better for us.
It's just two different things.
Just my instinct is
It's
saying
just
that.
two different things. And if you like flavor, also the thing about like MSG that people are always like, oh, it makes me feel a certain way, like bloated.
Yeah.
MSG is just flavor, and it really what it does is it takes bland food and makes it taste very good, or makes it like taste like, brings out all the flavors with umami. It is the umami. So salt is the salty thing, but MSG is umami. So it is used in food processing to take foods that has no nutrition, like chips and Cheetos and shit like that, and be like, well, if we put a bunch of MSG on it, it'll taste good and get your brain all activated and be like, oh, this is tasty. So it's probably the bad food that's making you that, not the MSG.
What about if I go and I have soup at ramen? What if I have ramen?
It definitely has MSG.
I get bloated when I have ramen.
Yeah, but ramen's also a super fatty, like, I mean, it's like drinking gravy. So it's,
Okay.
it's probably the ramen that's making you bloated, not the MSG.
Okay.
We did it.
I
encourage you to go get you some just raw, like just MSG by himself, and then cook with it. Maybe have a little taste of it and be like, oh, it's just flavor.
Have a taste of this?
Yeah, sure.
But it's not the same.
I think it is the same. I think if it was actually MSG free, it would say it.
It's quite thick. I'm going to do it with my finger.
Yeah. But yeah, chicken bouillon. Super salty. But you know that salt, that like layer that goes over your tongue? That's umami. And that's from the yeast extract, which has a lot of MSG in it.
It kind of tastes like dog food.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, you are just eating straight up chicken, dehydrated chicken stock, by the way. That is basically what bouillon is powdered chicken stock.
Yeah, it's not the best on its own, I'll be honest. Yeah. I think I have to be hypnotized to be able to eat MSG frivolously and feel confident about it.
You already do. That's the thing. It's in so many things that you aren't even thinking about.
I believe it. I'm just saying. Okay. What about soy sauce? I can't have soy sauce. Why would that be, Dr. Joe?
Soy sauce has MSG, but now they have, because they got bullied into it so much, half the soy sauce, they make it MSG free, and it's not as good.
Soy sauce really...
Or actually, it's like no added MSG.
Oh.
Because it's naturally occurring in soy sauce.
So maybe it's that MSG, people add too much of it, and we get really bloated.
Yeah, I think the foods that it's put in a lot of time is junk food. All junk food has MSG added to it. But it's the junk food that's fucking with you.
I can't believe that's how they tried to wipe out the Chinese restaurants.
Local Chinese restaurants. Look it up. I wish I could remember. Oh, I can just look it up because you don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
It's called
it's not a test, right?
China flu or something. No, that was COVID. That was COVID. Never mind.
Oh. I was like, wow, that happened? You're like, it literally just happened. You lived through it. Oh, well, I was living under a rock, so.
Chinese food syndrome? Is that what it was called?
Whoa.
Chinese restaurant syndrome. That's what it was called.
And what's the definition?
They would say it would cause numbness of the neck, arms, and back, headaches, dizziness, and palpitations from how much heavily seasoned for the foods that were heavily seasoned with monosodium glutamate. It was all bullshit.
Crazy.
It was all just...
So MSG doesn't cause headaches.
None of that is true. Yeah.
Maybe though, because it's a lot of salt, you need to drink more water, and that's why it causes headaches.
Of course, it was morbidly obese people going in and shoving their faces with all you can eat General Tso's chicken. That will cause headaches, I'm sure. Drink some water and,
prepare.
Okay,
well, thanks for telling me what I can eat. Now, the way that I end these episodes, I actually forgot to do it with Morgan, and he got out smooth, is we go at the same time, we go, thank you for watching. Mwah.
Are we doing that right now?
Yeah, we'll do that for this one.
Okay, cool.
So, well,
on the count of 3.
Yeah, on the count of 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you for watching.
Mwah. No, you have to go.
Wait, do I have to say the mwah? And do I have to sing it in that singy songy voice? Okay, good. Because I hated how that sounded.
Thank you for watching.
All right, let's try it again. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for watching. Mwah.
Oh, that was very good. The way you did yours. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
You finished this.